There is a quality that the camera finds in certain people that has nothing to do with conventional beauty, though it may coexist with beauty, and that is more durable than beauty and more immediately present than beauty, and that the audience recognizes before it has finished the process of recognition. The quality is aliveness, the sense of a person who is entirely present in the moment of being filmed, who is not performing presence, but simply has it, who occupies the frame with the authority of someone who belongs there in a way that the frame itself seems to confirm. The camera finds this quality and holds it and transmits it, and the audience receives it and responds to it. And the response is not analytical, but physical, a leaning forward, an attention that is paid without being decided upon. Maureen O'Hara had this quality in such abundance that the invention of Technicolor seems, in retrospect, to have been waiting for her. The red hair and the green eyes were not incidental to the technology. They were its most complete expression, the proof of what color photography could do when the subject gave it something worth doing. She was not made beautiful by Technicolor. She was made visible by it, visible in the fullest sense, as the person she actually was, in all the particularity and the force and the specific Irish quality of her that black and white had approximated and color finally got right. Maureen Fitzsimons was born on August 17, 1920, in Ranelagh, a suburb of Dublin, Ireland, the second of 6 children in a family that combined the practical and the artistic in proportions that produced, in Maureen, both a fierce work ethic and a genuine passion for performance. Her father ran a clothing business and was part owner of a soccer team. Her mother had been an accomplished singer. The children were encouraged to perform, to sing and dance and project themselves into rooms with the confidence of people who had been told, early and consistently, that they were capable of being heard. She trained at the Abbey Theatre School and the Guildhall School of Music in London, acquiring the technical foundation that would support everything that followed. And she came to Hollywood in 1939 at the age of 18 under contract to Charles Laughton and Eric Palmer's production company. The Hunchback of Notre Dame that year, Laughton's film, in which she played Esmeralda opposite his Quasimodo, announced immediately that the camera's relationship with this face was going to be something exceptional. She was 18 years old, and the film put her in front of one of the most experienced and technically demanding actors in Hollywood, and she held the screen. RKO, and then Fox, and then the wider industry followed. The films of the 1940s and 1950s that built her reputation were not all equally worthy of her. The studio system produced a great deal of material that existed primarily to showcase what audiences had already responded to, and what audiences had responded to in Maureen O'Hara was the combination of the extraordinary physical presence and something underneath the presence that was harder to name. A toughness, a refusal, a sense of a woman who was not going to be softened by the requirements of the role or the preferences of the studio or the discomfort of the men around her, when a woman proved to be more physically and emotionally capable than the script had assumed. She did her own stunts with the matter-of-fact insistence of someone who considers it a point of professional pride that the body on screen is actually her body doing the thing the body is required to do. The fight scenes, and there were genuine fight scenes, not the choreographed suggestion of conflict, but actual physical engagement with actors, who were often considerably larger than she was, were conducted with a fullness of commitment that left co-stars winded and directors impressed. She trained. She prepared. She arrived on set knowing what the physical requirements were and having prepared her body to meet them, because she was not a woman who arrived unprepared for anything. John Ford directed her 5 times, and the collaboration produced films of sustained quality that drew from her a range that the more commercially motivated directors hadn't always sought. Ford understood what she was, understood that the fierceness was not a surface quality, but an expression of something genuine and deep, that the beauty was interesting precisely because it coexisted with such complete capability, that the combination of the two was not a paradox, but a portrait of a particular kind of woman that the screen had not previously found adequate language for. He gave her language. John Wayne gave her something different. The friendship between O'Hara and Wayne, which produced 5 films together, and a personal relationship of genuine mutual respect and genuine mutual affection that lasted until his death, was built on the specific foundation of 2 people who recognized in each other an equal. Wayne, who was not famous for considering many people his equals, considered Maureen O'Hara his equal. She was the only woman he said this about. She was probably one of the only people he said it about at all. The recognition was not professional courtesy. It was the honest assessment of a man who understood strength because he had it, and who recognized in her a version of it that was entirely different from his and entirely comparable to it. The Quiet Man, in 1952, Ford directing, Wayne and O'Hara starring, shot on location in the west of Ireland, with the specific luminous quality that the Irish light gives to color photography, is the film that most completely captures what the O'Hara-Wayne partnership was. The chemistry between them was not manufactured by the camera or by Ford's direction, though both helped. It was the chemistry of 2 people who had spent years working together and who had developed, through that working, a specific kind of trust. The trust of people who know each other's capabilities and know their own, and who can therefore commit completely to a scene because they know the other person is going to be there to meet them. She fought with studio heads. This was not a metaphor, and it was not occasional. She fought specifically and persistently against the conditions that powerful men in the industry imposed on the women who worked within it, the roles that diminished, the contracts that exploited, the casual assumptions about what a woman was for and what she was not for. She fought in the direct, unambiguous way of someone who has decided that the fight is worth having, and who has sufficient confidence in her own position to have it without tactical management. She lost some of the fights. She won enough of them to matter. She fought for her Irish heritage with the same directness, not the performed Irishness of the diaspora, the shamrocks and the sentiment, but the real thing, the specific cultural identity of a woman who had grown up in Dublin and who knew the difference between Ireland and the version of Ireland that Hollywood liked to sell. She did not accept the Hollywood version. She represented the real one. She received an honorary Academy Award in 2014 at the age of 93, a recognition that arrived 6 decades late, and that she accepted with the graciousness of a woman who had long since made her peace with the gap between what the industry owed her and what it had paid. She died on October 24, 2015, in Boise, Idaho, at the age of 95, having outlived the studio system that had tried to contain her, the directors who had tried to soften her, and most of the co-stars who had discovered, sometimes to their considerable surprise, that the woman with the red hair was the last person in any room you wanted to underestimate. She was indestructible. Not as a metaphor, as a practical, demonstrated, repeatedly confirmed fact about a woman who had shown up across 7 decades of professional life and done the work with the full force of everything she was. Technicolor did not make her, it simply stopped hiding her.